Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's the Print Factory NFL Playoff Edition, Round 1 with the BIGT himself at BigT44 DFS on Twitter. Anthony, what's going on, Anthony? You ready to talk some NFL playoffs here?
We're here. We got through week 17, week 18. We've arrived. The playoffs. What's better than the playoffs this year, especially because looking, at this weekend, obviously Seattle and Denver aren't playing, but you got a lot of games that outside of the Rams game, really, I mean, every other game you could make a case for both teams. So we got a lot of good football games. In past years, I feel like there was more blowout spots week one, way more parity this year. And even the Carolina game, like we'll both like the Rams for sure, but Carolina just beat them a few weeks ago. It's not like they can't do it. I mean, they beat them. So, yeah, we're in for a great weekend of football here. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for some of these games. I mean, there's some games. Am I super excited for some of these games? Maybe not all of them, but there's definitely some games I'm very excited for, and some matchups that we'll get into that I think were interesting draws for these teams, good and bad for some teams that I was higher on and stuff. So we'll kind of get into those matchups, and we'll talk some DFS. Obviously, DraftKings did a great job. They did the awesome, 6-gamer for people who like the big dog slates, Tony, and they want all the games in there. They did the big dog slate with all the games in there. And then the 6-gamer, they got the 2-gamer with awesome contests for Saturday, and the 3-gamer, awesome contest for Sunday. And I'm sure we'll have a great showdown slate for Monday. So there's going to be a ton of playoff action. And that's on top of if you weren't just jamming playoff best balls the last couple weeks like I have been. So I know you're not in that boat, Tony, but I was definitely in that boat. And I'm excited I got a lot of playoff action going this week, and I'm pumped about it.
Did you spread out, or did you do what you always do and just take the same guys every time?
No, I feel like I did a better job.
You spread out a little bit more?
Spreading out. I mean, I still have,
Yeah, I'm not saying do you not. Yeah, you got some takes, but you didn't like literally just take your same teams every
No. Definitely
like because sometimes the first round dictates what you need to do. Like some guy will drop down to you, and then you can pick that team for Philadelphia or something. Somehow you get Saquon, and then all of a sudden you're loading up Philly guys.
I was trying to explain this to our guy Prez when we were doing one of the shows. It's like, a lot of times, like the first round or two is kind of going to dictate the way your draft is going to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, even if you don't love a team, you're drafting kind of based off of like, not what you always think will happen, but what could happen in the scenario that X team, even if you don't like X team, somehow does it. And I always I just use the example of like last year with Washington. I don't think anyone saw Washington making a deep run. They make a deep run, Tony. Again, it's not what you always think will happen, but it's what did happen. And sometimes that saves you. You know what I mean?
Sports betting with the numbers. You can't let your teams dictate sports betting. It's numbers. And best ball, it depends. Like I did do a few, and I did a couple of my big ones that weren't on DraftKings. I ended up getting more Denver than I thought just because no one was taking them. Like you'd get like deep in these drafts, and I hate Denver, but like you just said, there gets to a point where you just have to take certain teams, even if you don't love the team.
Almost every team is a buy at a certain point. You just got to figure out where that point is.
Every team.
Every team. Yeah.
Correct.
And don't forget too, like Ladd McConkey, even though they lost last year, he was a big reason why you advanced from round one. So you didn't want necessarily Charger stacks, Tony, but you wanted Ladd McConkey. And if you didn't have
always
Ladd
a point.
McConkey last year, you were screwed out of advancing. And 2 years ago, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember Dallas and I think Green Bay? It was like tons of points, but Jake Ferguson had 3 touchdowns in that game, and people needed Jake Ferguson to advance. So even though Dallas lost, the Dallas stacks helped you advance to the next round, and you kind of needed those things. And most people didn't have Jake Ferguson as a one-off, so most people needed the Dallas stack to get through. So yeah, best ball is weird. It's not. You still got to draft guys, even if you don't love their team or think their team has a chance to advance or something like that. It's the playoffs.
And it's this year with all the parity. Like, we can be confident all we want, but outside of Carolina, I could at least sell you on pretty much every other team.
You
I
could.
could, not that I like every team, but I could at least make a case for every team, basically.
And could I sell you that Tet McMillan as a loser could be on the winner?
Carolina's the one team I struggle with, but
But could
absolutely.
Tet McMillan have 100 yards and a touchdown and be on your team that wins even though they lose?
Yeah.
It could easily happen.
The NFL needs to fix the rule anyways. I hate that division winners are just guaranteed home field. Like, why do they have to be home field over the Rams? It's stupid. Like, let them keep their seed, but do home field by record or something.
Yeah, but then a lot of teams wouldn't play for the division at the end, right?
I mean, they would, because that's how they would get in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not going to be in. They wouldn't get home field, but they wouldn't even be in the playoffs if they didn't try.
Yeah,
like, it's so stupid that you can be a 10.5-point home dog. That means the system's wrong.
Yeah. No, it's definitely wrong.
It's usually, for the most part, wild card weekend, when it's like that, usually it's the other. Like, the Packers are the 7, the Bears are the 2. It's a less than 3-point spread. That's usually how it is right there.
It's crazy. It's a 1.5 point spread for the Packers and Bears, and that's the 7 and the 2.
Yeah.
And I think the Patriots and Chargers are like 3.5.
Yeah.
And that's the 2 and the 7 on the other side. So yeah, it's weird how this thing works. We're gonna talk all 6 games here, so we'll go at it from a betting side, a DFS side, and then at the end we'll run through quick our full bracket, Tony, as they say. We'll give the people the full bracket, at least what we think, anyways. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. I think as wide open a year as we might have had in a really long time. Like, I can't remember a year where I feel like it's extremely wide open.
100%. College was the same way too. I know you don't follow college as much, but it's the first year of football I can remember, college and pro, just wide open. And yeah, we have teams we think are better, but all the teams that we think are better definitely could lose. There's never been a year where the 1 seeds are less respected than this year. It all goes into all of this same stuff for sure. So I'm excited for it.
All right, Tony, let's start here. Game 1 on Saturday. That is the 4:30 game between the LA Rams and the Carolina Panthers. As you said, this game is in Carolina, and we'll go at it from the DraftKings Sportsbook numbers here. The Rams are a 10.5 point favorite at home. I'm sorry, in Carolina. See, even in my head, when I say 10.5 point favorite, I just assume they're automatically at home, Tony. But Rams on the road, 10.5 point favorite, and a 45.5 total. It looks like there could be some weather in this game. Could be some rain, Tony. There was rain actually the last time these teams played in Carolina, where Carolina upset the Rams at home. And it could be a similar type of spot again, where another rain game, Carolina at home, big spread. First, I got to get your take from an overview betting angle. What are you doing here with this big spread, 10.5? Are you taking the dog shot, or are you on the Rams?
Not going to be one of my favorite spots of the weekend, but only because it's really hard for me to take Carolina. Naturally, I would want to take Carolina in this spot, plus 10.5 at home, blah, blah, blah. They beat them whatever week it was, 4 weeks ago. however long ago it was, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. But the Rams are solid. Everyone's picked to win the NFC. I struggle with 10.5 though. Like, I want to take the Rams, but do I really need to lay 10.5 with the Rams in this spot? I just don't see myself going too big. But as far as fantasy though, because we're going to talk both in this show, just to give the full breakdown for the people here, you're just going to have to like some of these Rams guys. I mean, Puka going to be one of the highest owns, if not the highest owned receivers going against Carolina, projected for 22. You have to like that. Stafford, when you got Devontae, I hear he's limited, but either way, he's going to get all the red zone looks still. He's going to get plenty of upside through that. Higbee, did Higbee play last week, or is this his first week back?
He played last week, ran tied for the second most amount of routes with Colby Parkinson. So Puka ran the most, obviously. Colby and Higbee tied for the second, 26 routes. That's 61% of the routes run. So Higbee got a good look. Obviously, the Rams are one of those teams, though. They play a lot of the 3 tight end, so it's easy to see Higbee, get more looks. Remember, no Terrence Ferguson last week either, and I think he's questionable for this week. I don't know if there's an official ruling. I just assumed he was gonna, give it a go, but
I kind of assume he might sit just with Higbee back, because they already got 3, obviously Parkinson and Higbee, and then Davis Allen. They like Davis Allen, a lot of the stuff he does too. So even if Ferguson played, it wouldn't impact that much for me. But Higbee, 3,200.
I think it impacts a ton, and this is why.
Why?
The last time these two teams played, it was actually the lowest amount of 13 personnel the Rams used since they started using the heavy 13 personnel packages. This matchup was the lowest, because I remember this before I even looked at the numbers, because I was so irritated because I had all these tight ends, because I assumed they were going to keep, because the 13 personnel overall, I think, has really worked out well for the Rams. The Rams have been really good out of 13 personnel. But for whatever reason, it had to be a matchup, a design, whatever McVay was seeing, because he all of a sudden, when it was working, they decided to go away from it more than usual. And then he went back to it the next couple weeks. So I'm like, okay, it has to be something with what Carolina was doing or whatever. And I remember it frustrating me because I was all over these tight ends. And I think Devontae caught 2. The running back smashed in that game for the Rams. Blake Corum ran for like 11 yards per carry. Kyron ran for over 5 yards per carry. Absolutely crushed. But I will just say that was the one thing that worried me, Tony, if all of these tight ends were back, is if they do that again and they go away from the 13. And I'm not saying that's guaranteed. I'm just saying it was weird to me that when the heavy 13 was working, they go away from it, and then they go right back to it the next couple weeks.
Wasn't Devontae hurt like around this time though?
He scored 2 touchdowns in that game. He crushed. He scored 2 of those 1 yard.
I know, but when did he get hurt? Like, they could have gone back the following week because he was hurt though, right? When did he get hurt in relation to this?
Devontae got hurt in week 15 or 16.
What week was this game?
This game was in 13.
13?
Yeah, 13.
Yeah. I mean, either way, though, like Ferguson didn't play in this game, or he had 2 targets, so he played a little bit.
He played. Higbee
didn't play, obviously.
I think Higbee was out in this game. Yeah.
I mean, I just think it would be, I don't know. Like, I like Higbee and even Parkinson, but definitely Higbee coming back, veteran, playoffs. I wanted to make sure he had a week under his belt where he get his feet under him a little bit. I have to like Higbee, especially with Devontae a little nicked up too. You would think that the Rams, one downside to the Rams too, is that it's a clear-cut spot for me now that they're in the playoffs where they don't have no motivation to run it up. So if they're up 10, and this is another reason you could bet the Panthers too. If it's a 14-point game or something in the fourth, they are definitely going to sit on this ball. They're not gonna just go crazy. They want to get Devontae healthy. They want to work their way forward here. So Yeah, I like Higbee. I have a hard time playing Devontae, but he could score twice every single week. Puka, I love Puka, and I love Stafford. It's going to be hard to play Stafford, though, just with all the big-time quarterbacks on this slate.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. I think there's going to be spots for us to play Matthew Stafford. I don't think this is a spot. And you know me, I'm a massive Stafford guy.
What
I
about
don't
on the two-gamer, Saturday only?
I still don't. Oh, on that slate, obviously you can go to him a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be my favorite quarterback, even me on that slate. And I'll tell you why when we get to the next game, obviously. But I think in this game, what you're going to see, and I feel like I know the Rams really well and how they want to attack, and they're going to pick from what worked in that game. What worked in that game? They didn't run the ball a ton, Tony, but when they ran the ball, they were ultra efficient. They're getting a little healthier in the offensive line department. I think they might be getting an offensive lineman back for this week. So I think you see a heavy dose of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. I think you see a lot more running. Matthew Stafford in this game was not good. It was actually probably one of his worst games he played. I don't know, maybe all year. I don't know. One of them, though, for sure. And he was really bad in play action sets, really, really bad, and normally very good in the play action game. And I wonder if McVay just says, you know what? We're just going to ram this fucking thing down your throat. We're going to play smash mouth football. We're going to run the ball, and we're just going to dominate the line of scrimmage. And I think that's what they do. That's what Tampa did the first time they played Carolina, and it worked. The second time, it didn't work out as well for them. But I think that's what teams try and do against Carolina because they are inferior, and they do have aggressive corners. So I think it leans more to the under for this game. One, I kind of like the under in this spot. And I kind of like the running backs here. I think everyone's going to like tight ends, even if Terrence Ferguson doesn't play, Tony, which I do think would help a Higbee or a Colby Parkinson. I probably wouldn't play both. I would choose one at most, but I think I want the running backs here, specifically Kyron. But even I could play Blake Corum a little bit, but Kyron more because I do feel like they limited him in the regular season to get him ready for a heavy dose in the postseason. So especially when it's close early in this game. So yeah, I'm running back heavy in this one.
Yeah,
Especially
I love the Kyron take. One of my stronger takes of the weekend. Well, maybe not because he's not owned, but I just would never play Corum. I think exactly
on
what
that
you do.
2-game slate, man. You're gonna
again, I'm talking more 6-game than any a 2-gamer. I love that strategy on the 2-gamers for sure. So we're doing this show again for the whole weekend for those of you watching. Like the 2-gamers, definitely I'll be more open to stuff. I honestly might like it on the 2-gamer because the way it sets up. I just don't think he gets hardly any work. But in his work, he could score. He could score twice in his work too. So it could easily, like, I think I'm pretty confident saying he gets like 25% of the snaps. That's where I'd put him. 25, 30.
Who? Corum?
Corum. Like I think it's like I agree with your last take. I think they sat on Kyron a little bit. I don't think they're going to sit on him.
Don't you think game flow could change things?
Like, I do.
Depending on how the game goes. Like let's say the Rams are. I don't know. Let's say the Rams are up 17 at half.
Yeah.
Do you think like Corum gets a little more work if they're bullying him a little bit?
I mean, I think they could for sure. On the overall slate, I love Kyron. Love your take too about how they use him more. 2-gamer, I could see using both of them, and it's honestly because as we get into this second game, I don't really love like Jacobs, who's going to be like very popular on both slates, 2-game slate and 6-game slate. Jacobs is going to be crazy popular, and I just don't love it. So,
one of my best slates actually was it a 2-game slate with the Packers and Malik Willis? I think it was a
2 or 3,
3.
whatever it was.
It was
Yeah,
2 or
one of those
3,
short
whatever it
plays.
was, and Jacobs was massively owned, Tony, and one of my full fades on the slate was Josh Jacobs, and I said why and stuff like that, and I knew Malik was gonna be aggressive. The matchup leaned more to the pass anyways, and Jacobs was banged up, and I was like, I'm not playing a 60% owned Josh Jacobs just because on this slate. I do think it's a little different in this spot against the Bears. Jacobs probably a little more healthy. They are getting back, I think, an offensive lineman that they lost back in week 14 or 15, Zach Tom. And he does make a difference. He is a difference maker when he's on and off the field. The numbers, Josh Jacobs' numbers are a lot better when he's on the field than off the field. So I'm a little more apprehensive about the full fade on Josh Jacobs, but I do like the passing game. I think more in the late game than I do in the first game, which I don't know if everyone's going to agree with that take, because I feel like a lot of people are going to like the running backs. What's your take on the passing game with the Packers and Bears?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like the running games better, and that includes the quarterbacks on the move too. I think both quarterbacks use their feet a decent amount, and I like the running backs. So especially the Bears side, like I love the running game from the Bears going against this Packers team. So I don't know. I'd lean running.
Yeah, I think on the 2-gamer, this is where I'll have the biggest edge. I feel like it's a clear spot for one, Christian Watson, who dominates against man coverage, and the Bears play a lot of man coverage right now. I think top 10 in the league, and actually got criticized by their own, was it Jaquan Brisker, whatever his name was? He was pissed at the coaches for how much man they played against the Lions, where they just got destroyed against the Lions, dominated. And I think Christian Watson, if they go man heavy again, is going to do something similar to this team. So I really like Christian Watson. And the opposite for the Packers. The Packers play the second most zone of any team in the NFL. Almost 80, I think it's 80% plus zone coverage. And that's Luther Burden to a T. Luther Burden against zone coverage is the number one target for Caleb Williams for teams with zone coverage. I know they're getting back Rome, so it kind of muddies things up. I hope that means people are a little afraid to, or debating on who to click between those guys, because I'm going to take Luther Burden again. He disappointed last week. They kind of waited till the very end of the game to get the ball in his hands. I don't think they're making that mistake again. I think they're going to get the ball in his hands early. Also, Caleb Williams was bad last week in week 18. He was so horrible for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, in the 4th quarter, just started playing. And it's just like, I don't think that happens either. I don't think the slow start happens the way it did. And I think you see Luther get the ball early. So I really like Luther Burden and Christian Watson here. Another game, though, where it looks like we'll get weather, maybe some snow, Tony, a little bit of wind down there in Chicago. But these are 2 teams that are used to playing in bad weather, cold weather, snow, some wind. I'm not as worried about it, honestly. I'm not. And I kind of like the over in this game. I think a lot of people are going to like the under with some of the bad weather. And I'm on the over here. I like the under in game 1. I like the over in game 2. And I'm not as confident in who wins this game. And we were talking about this before we jumped on. It's like, there's certain games I'm going to be more confident in. This one I'm not, because I truly believe this game is going to be very back and forth. It's going to stay like within one possession-ish for a lot of this game. And I one thing I would be shocked with is if either of these teams blew the other one out. Like, I don't think that happens. I think this is close, and it comes down to the very end of the game, which I will say, Caleb Williams has been pretty good at the end of games. So if you made me pick, I'm going to lean the Bears because they're at home and they're somehow slight dogs, which I don't get. I feel like it should be flipped. But it's only like a 1.5 point spread, so it's not that crazy. But I don't want to I don't want to have like a super strong take on it because I would not be shocked if either of these teams won the close game. So I more have a strong take on the over. That's my favorite bet, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I agree with a lot. I think both defenses are a little bit, well, I don't even want to say overrated anymore after the injuries and stuff because I'm not sure people think their defenses are good. Both defenses are maybe two of the weaker in all the playoffs, honestly. So I do like the over. I love Christian Watson too. Uh, I feel good about him. Feel real good because I don't like Musgrave. I don't really like what I've seen from the other receivers, Dobbs and Jaden Reed, Wicks, if he plays. I know he's questionable. Golden. They got a lot of guys, but the only one I feel good about is Christian Watson. So I'm glad you brought him up. And then the Bears side, I like Burden. I do like that he's going to be low owned too.
Him. I'm telling you, this
I'm not going to fade him.
For him.
I hate how many like receivers they have in the mix though, with Rome coming back, DJ, two tight ends.
Playoffs. They're not fucking around. I'm telling you right now. Luther Burden, they were saving them a little bit throughout the year. They slow rolled them. They're not messing around in a playoff game.
I just don't know how much they're gonna like sling it around, but I like his ownership though too. Is one thing I definitely like. He's not gonna be owned. I like that part a lot.
And I think he's the best one. I know everyone's going to like DJ or Rome or
no, everyone. Luther's projections ahead of those other guys, so people are going to like Luther.
I mean, he's not going to be owned though.
I know, just because the projection's bad, but the projection's still higher than DJ and Rome, and he's cheaper. So, like, yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something. I don't like it as much as you, but I think you're onto something with it. And Colston Loveland, for that matter, too, I like a lot at tight end because Saber's ownership is wrong on him too, by the way. Like, there's no way he's 5% like SaberSim has right now. There's literally no way.
Are you looking on the 6-gamer or the two?
The 6-gamer I'm looking at. He's got to be – I mean, he's got a 11 or 12 projection.
There's a lot of good tight ends on this slate, though, I
know, but trust me, like, well, part of Saber's problem why he's 5% is they got him projected for 9. The rest of the industry has him 11 or 12. So, that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Like on my naked run, because I like to run it before the show just to see, I get 25% Colston Loveland and only 5% Luther Burden. And I feel like just running it naked with projections is going to get you somewhat accurate. So I think Burden will be single digits and Colston Loveland will be somewhere around 20.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up because I saw I was just looking at our projection, like, and then I saw the Saber projection once you said it. And I was like, oh yeah, they have it at 9. I'm like, so they're
and the rest of it. Honestly, Saber and us are the two lowest in the industry.
Honestly, when I saw our projection, I said, kind of feels a little low to me, honestly, but and I didn't even talk about Colston Loveland.
Especially if it's windy, like he's going to get I'm a Loveland fan. Loveland and Burden, we said it all early season.
It doesn't matter that Ben Johnson got these guys for a reason. He's going to use these guys. Like he had Rome, he had DJ Moore. He didn't need to draft Colston. Don't you think this Bears team could have drafted other guys? They could have drafted. They had Cole Kmet, who they paid, Tony. They had Roma Dunze. They had DJ Moore. There's a reason why Ben Johnson said, nope, I want these guys. I don't care if this is a position of strength. I want these guys. I don't care if we paid this guy and that guy. It doesn't matter to me. I'm getting my guys. And, I mean, we've seen it with Colston Loveland in the last couple weeks, how, he's kind of emerging. And he looks like a legit weapon.
I mean, they picked him ahead of
Tyler Warren.
Yeah, so you know how much they value him and how talented he is for sure.
And don't forget how they use Sam Laporta. Ben Johnson loved Sam Laporta. That was his guy. Like, I think he picked Colston Loveland. Like, all right, this is my guy. Like, this is Colston Loveland. Like, that's my weapon. So
I do think for the 2-gamer, you bring up a good point. Like, if you play the 2 Rams running backs, you come back, you could play Caleb with Burden and Loveland. You play Watson. I mean, I like that too. Yeah, it feels like a pretty good team right there.
So I'm gonna throw out one more thing here. Green Bay normally is a nightmare when it comes to wide receivers. You were saying the thing about Chicago having so many guys and stuff like that. Well, normally we say that about Green Bay, right, Tony? When they're fully healthy and they've got like all those random guys. Like remember Bo Melton and Malik Heath and all these guys would randomly come in and play and you'd just be so tilted and stuff. Well, Bo Melton's on IR. I don't think Malik Heath's on the team anymore. Savion Williams is on IR. And Dontavian Wicks is dealing with a concussion and may or may not play. And I think, honestly, when you hear that news, it's like, oh, it's not, I mean, it's Dontavian Wicks. It's not big news. It's kind of a big deal to me because I don't know how much they trust the rookie. I don't know how much they trust Matthew Golden. I know the Packers like to rotate their receivers, but if they lose Wicks, they might be way thinner than they normally are at receiver. And I think that makes not just Watson, but one of Romeo Doubs or Reed really good plays on this slate because I think they're going to lean more into the non-young guys, the vets in this game. So losing Wicks, who no matter what you want to say is a vet and has been playing kind of over Golden, that's a kind of a big deal to me, Tony, and it makes me want to double stack this team more, especially on the 2-gamer. But even on like the main slate, I think they're not a terrible double stack because they're all under 5K. Look at those price tags. You can double stack that team and play anyone you want. You can go play CMC and Barkley. You can go whatever stud you want. It doesn't matter. You double stack those guys and go play your 2 favorite studs easy on the 6-game slate. So I wouldn't throw out the idea of playing a Jordan Love double stack here, especially with everyone on Jacobs on the slate.
Yeah, I definitely like the Bears side more just looking at it, but I agree with what you're saying, especially on the 2-gamer. 6-gamer definitely gets hairier, but 2-gamer Saturday, definitely agree. And just looking at the build, I mean,
hates it. Listen to his voice. Why can't you just be a man and say it? Say, I hate that.
I don't hate it. Or I would say it. I don't hate it.
I'm trying to get you to say that's terrible, and you won't say it.
I'm sure I'll say it at some point during the show, but it's not going to be at this portion. I mean, on the 6-gamer, I think it's pretty bad. But the one thing I will say, even in that, I think, again, looking at these 6 teams, I think they might have the 2 worst defenses on the slate. I'm just looking at it like their defenses are bad.
I know that Packers defense has been horrible.
The Chicago defense is bad too. I promise.
The Bears have been bad too. The only thing I'll say about the Bears that makes me feel, I guess, a little bit. I mean, they're playing like these are still good offenses, right? Like Detroit's still good offense.
They're an underdog at home. That tells you about their defense.
Well, no, I think that tells you that the books respect Green Bay.
And they don't respect Chicago.
And they don't respect Chicago. And here's the thing with you, Tony. I know you never respected Green Bay. Even if
I don't like Green Bay, but I know the odds like them, so that scares me.
Yeah, the odds like them.
Like I like the Bears. I'm with you. I'm going to be on the Bears, but I feel like we're going to lose. I feel like the Packers beat us.
Honestly, I feel the same exact way. Like that's why though I want to lean more into the over because I feel way better about the over than actually betting the side. But I feel like a puss not betting the side, so I probably will still bet the side, but I don't feel as confident about the side. So I just
the good thing about playing like the 2-gamer and the 6-gamer and the showdowns and do all the you don't have to. This is what we always used to suck at. You don't have to just stick with the same takes on all the teams too.
We still suck at it.
I still suck at it. Stubborn, but like you don't have to stick with the same takes though. Like on the 2-gamer, you can lean into something and go a totally different direction in the 6-gamer, where maybe you go with Jacobs on the 6-gamer, you play it safe. But on the 2-gamer, you fade Jacobs and you play the whole passing game both sides, and you give yourself outs in a couple different directions because there's a lot of. I think we see points though. That's for sure. What I agree with. The more I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I think we see points too, and don't be afraid to like, especially I think Caleb but don't be afraid to like play these running backs with the quarterback too. Like I could see a
Yeah.
Swift game where maybe it's not as much on the ground, but it's through the air. You know what I mean? Or a little of both. You know what I mean? I could see a big Swift game coming here. So yeah, no, I like this game a lot. I think I'm gonna like this game more than just the majority in the whole 6-game slate, but definitely in the 2-game slate. That's
I
my
like your thoughts too about overstacking. Like, there's nothing that says this Rams game can't just be ugly.
I mean, easily can be and you know me, I like to like fade aside and I
Yeah.
like to play a couple pieces from the other side and then
No one's
jam
gonna
one
play
game.
Carolina, so that's not gonna count for you this time, though.
No, and
If
honestly,
you somehow faded the Rams, though, you could really get interesting.
the problem with fading the Rams is I don't know how I fade the Rams when I love their running backs. Like I feel like
It would be tough. On 6-gamer, obviously you can fade the Rams.
well, yeah,
2-gamer, it's gonna be tough for no Rams to hit the winner. It is
but
gonna be
even
tough.
like if they rule out Terrence Ferguson, Tony, even though I don't like the tight ends as much because I told you my reasons why about how they limited the amount of 13 they played last time out. If Terrence Ferguson's out, at least I mean they're still really cheap on a 2-game slate, so you still have to think about one of them. You know what I mean? But in a different matchup, I'd be jamming both of them if I was confident they'd be playing that 13 personnel. So
I could
that's
see this Bears game just totally shooting out though too.
I could.
What
I
if
could
the
definitely
Rams all get if Puka gets 20 and Kyron gets 14 and Stafford gets 18 and like there's a chance that not many of them are on the winners because they get outscored.
Yeah, yeah. And with Adams back, Puka, Puka's still amazing, but like he can have a down game with Adams back. You know
The
what I mean?
hard
That's
part
not
is
crazy.
just playing with the constructions though is they priced it so soft, like they always do. They should for
Always.
the casuals. It is so easy just to play Puka. Like you're gonna have to outscore him. Like you're gonna have to have 3 receivers outscore him to do it. But they could. They could. Like, I mean, it's so easy to fit Puka without even working.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue right there.
But you could outscore him, and when you do outscore him, that's how you solo ship something and win a lot of money.
And I will say too, if I'm right about them playing less 13, the guy that's actually been playing a lot is Xavier Smith. He's actually been playing a little bit more than Mumfield. So he's actually the 3K shitter. If I were to like have to pick a Rams receiver that wasn't named Puka or Devontae, and he's getting no ownership. So and he's got speed. Like he could catch a bomb. Like that's his. So like one catch for 40 and a touchdown could play and be unique too on this slate. But
definitely.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Buffalo and Jacksonville, another tight. What is it like a 1.5 point spread here in Jacksonville? The Bills are favored slightly on the road. It's a 51.5 total. And I did want to shout out this year. Our guy, One of One, dropped a little nugget in chat. Said the Jaguars have not won a game with a pre-game total above 49 in 18 seasons, 0-24. Just an interesting little nugget right there. That's pretty wild. Deep dive right there from whoever did that deep dive. But that was a little interesting. What do you think, Tony? Josh Allen, maybe the worst Bills team we've seen in a while, honestly, but still still obviously a good team. They have Josh Allen, but their weapons are just not that great, honestly. And the defense is subpar. The secondary's a little banged up. They still have an okay pass rush. It's like middle of the pack pass rush, so not terrible here. Jacksonville's really good against the run. They've been really good against the run all year. And I feel like we've seen a similar thing last year against the Denver Broncos, where I remember people saying the Bills want to run the football. Denver at that time had the best run defense, or one of the 2 best run defenses in all of football. And the Bills just still ran the ball down their throat and dominated the line of scrimmage, Tony. So sometimes, better offense just wins out at the end of the day. I mean, can this Bills team just do that again?
This game's the game of the weekend for me. Just the way Josh Allen, probably the top quarterback in the playoffs, versus Jacksonville, up and coming team, Duval County, baby. I've been on Jacksonville for like 6 weeks, but again, a lot like the Bears game and stuff, where you have to reevaluate things. I don't know how you can ignore like the Jaguars 0-23, the stat you said from Discord. 0-23. That's an interesting trend. It's tough. And Buffalo with a better quarterback, Jacksonville always chokes, it feels like. Can they get past it? And again, it's back-to-back games. I was super high late in the year on the Bears, always low on the Packers, but I kind of lean Packers a little bit. This game, I hate the Bills. I've hated the Bills all year. I love Jacksonville, but Buffalo's favored on the road. You see stuff like, I like Jacksonville better against teams that can't score, because I feel like they can overwhelm them a little bit. But if you got Josh Allen, you're going to be able to score no matter what. So I think it's a tough matchup for Jacksonville. I look at the rest of the AFC. I don't know if there's really a worse matchup for them than Buffalo, because it's the one team. Houston doesn't have a great offense. Pittsburgh, not a great offense. Chargers, not a great offense right now. New England, pretty good offense, but I don't know if they're as good as Buffalo. Probably not, just on offense. It's a tough matchup, and this is what makes the playoffs great. It's all about matchups. And believe me, I want to just say, yeah, I love Jacksonville. Duval, baby, go. I have a reason for concern. And that stat, I didn't even know that till you read it, and I see it in Discord. It's a tough stat, so I think I kind of lean Buffalo. But another reason, I think you beat Buffalo through the ground. I just don't know if Jacksonville has that. I know ETN's been good. He's not like a power runner, though. I don't know. Even Tootin's like a more of a power runner. He's 4,600 though. Like you're not going to that. At least I'm not. I don't know. I feel like Jacksonville's more of a passing team right now with all these weapons. That's not how you beat Buffalo. So I think I lean Buffalo. The interesting thing too is just Josh Allen, James Cook. Josh Allen only 7K. James Cook 7,400. You can basically get a majority of the offense by playing both of them. I do, but Jacksonville's defense is good. It's not like the Bears game where I think Jacksonville's defense is good, and the total's still 51. So I got a lot of things working against my Jags this week. I'll be honest. Like there's a lot of things working against me that are like the stuff I weigh for when I make bets. Really, everything goes against Jacksonville. So that is alarming to me.
Yeah. One thing that's a little alarming to me when I just peel it back a little and I start looking at some of the stuff with these two teams is like the Bills. Throughout the year, we've wanted to attack the Bills with the running game, right, Tony? We wanted running backs against the Bills. Well, the last like back half of the year, they've been actually decent against the running back. Not amazing, but decent. So you'll see like they end up like middle of the pack against the running back with fantasy points. And it kind of makes sense because they went through that really bad stretch where they were getting torched against some running backs. And then they had a pretty good stretch. And it wasn't against like terrible running backs either. Like, sometimes teams go through good stretches, but they're playing like really bad teams or, whatever, really bad run games. And it wasn't really that. And I go back and look at Jacksonville in their back half of the year. They've been pretty bad running the football. Their rush success rate is bottom like 6 or 7 or something. I think they're 25th overall in rush success rate the last like 5 weeks. Getting stuffed a lot. I don't love it as much because I think this game is going to come down to one. I think we're going to get a lot of passing, which is good for fantasy. I think that's I think we're going to get a lot of passing volume. But when it's like a back and forth game, Tony, I can't bet against Josh Allen in those types because those are always the games where I feel like he just finds a way to win. Like the Patriots game, like every time Josh Allen gets in a hole, you're never safe. And he always finds a way to dig out. on top of it, I'm calling this right now, but I think Josh Allen is going to get a good whistle this weekend because no Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, no Patrick Mahomes, no Tom Brady anymore. Aaron Rodgers is 50 years old. I mean, Tony, the NFL is dying for Josh Allen. They need star. They want Josh Allen to win this game. I don't care what anyone says. Josh Allen's going to get a good whistle here, and I would expect him to use his legs a lot. I actually expect both these quarterbacks to use their legs. I think interesting props would be taking them both over their rush yards. Trevor Lawrence has been pretty good running the football. And I did notice, too, his anytime touchdown prop, Tony, on DraftKings, Trevor Lawrence. Guess what it is?
Minus 100.
Oh, shut up. Plus 170, which I think is the lowest it's been all. I've been betting it a lot.
He's gonna run one in, so I like it.
Yeah, and the Bills give up rushing yards against quarterbacks, so it's kind of like a good matchup on the other end. I think they're top 5 in the league or something like that. So I do like, obviously, if you're playing the 6-gamer, the 3-gamer on Sunday and stuff like that. I don't know how you don't view these two quarterbacks as two of the safest quarterbacks on the board for fantasy.
Yeah, 100%. And you got, I think the spread's interesting because you got Josh Allen, best quarterback in the playoffs, everything you just said, where the NFL wants him in there, versus what I consider a much better roster top to bottom. Jacksonville has so many good players up and down that roster. I think they're better than Buffalo. But you got Josh Allen, who feeds off games like this, who thrives in back and forth games. And that's why I think the spread is what it is. I think it's a toss-up. I think this is the game of the weekend for me. I can't wait to watch this one. Sunday, I wish it was the Sunday night game in that ugly Chargers-Patriots spot. I wish those two would be flipped.
It's so bad that this game's the first game.
The worst game of the weekend is the Chargers game, too. I'm dreading that game. But I think it's a great game. I think it's easy too to stack up because Jacksonville, you got a bunch of guys you can throw in there, and then Buffalo for me, it's still just the two guys, Josh Allen, James Cook.
Dude, I feel like they've sucked all year and they've won how many games, and they just find a way to win weird games. Like the Bills are so weird. It's so odd.
I hate the Bills. That's part of my problem. Two straight games, I got a road team I hate favored over a team I like at home. That's the torture chamber for me.
My issue with this is I think, as crazy as this is to say, Tony, these are two of the best teams in the AFC, and they're facing each other.
They might be the two best teams. Whoever wins whoever wins this probably will be my pick to win the AFC.
I think it will be. I honestly, outside of maybe one other team that I think gets a really good draw if they win, depending on how the bracket goes that we'll get to in a sec. But yeah, I think the winner of this game, I know for a fact the winner of this game will probably be, even though I know you still hate the Bills. I don't know if you'll be able to pick the Bills at the end of the day.
I've gotten pretty good with taking my feelings away from the number. I've gotten pretty good at that part. Like, I don't have a problem betting on Buffalo and still like silently rooting for Jacksonville.
Legacy says, when Allen loses this game, I think he meant to say, I can't wait to hear your takes. Okay. I mean, we just said that this is the game of the week that two of the best teams in the AFC are facing each other.
We're not like Josh Allen. We don't love Josh Allen. We think he's good. We're not like Josh Allen homers, though. I don't understand what the point is.
Literally said that this game's going to be back and forth. I just think I think like good spots for the Bills are teams that are really efficient on the ground. And I just don't think Jacksonville is that team right now.
Yeah.
But could be wrong. Maybe they will run.
I do hate Buffalo, though. The more I think about it, the more I hate them. But man,
I can't believe you're not picking Jacksonville. I'm stunned right now.
I don't feel like it's a Jacksonville spot. I hope they win, though. I got tons of Jacksonville action out there. I hope Jacksonville wins. Two
of my anytime touchdown props are definitely going to be Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, anytime touchdowns. That's going to happen.
I think they both score too. So I love it.
Too. And for DFS, I like Parker Washington again.
He just keeps going good. He just keeps crushing.
Bills slot receiver. He's the main slot guy, even though other guys run on the slot. He's the main slot guy. Bills are really good against the tight end too, which makes me not as much like Brenton Strange. I think it's Trevor Lawrence, Parker Washington. I mean, you could double stack too with like a Jacoby or BTJ, but those are the two guys I want first. Is there? Kind of looks like, so he'll be the most popular, Tony. Him and Shakir right now on Sabre are projecting for the most ownership at like 27 to 29%. Do you like anyone else in this game?
No, I mean, I don't like Tupac. I'm the one thing I'm done with Buffalo. I'm done. I'm done with any of the pass catchers.
Figuring the receivers out.
I'm done. Even on the 3-gamer on Sunday only, I'm done with it. I don't care if I play Josh Allen. I'm still done with it. I'm done guessing because I know I'm not going to guess right. It'll probably be Shavers that scores or something. Like I never guess right, so I give up on it. Especially Tupac though. Like if I was playing anyone, it would probably be like Brandon Cooks or something, like a veteran that just shoots his old bow and arrow that he always used to shoot. But Jacksonville,
I love the bow and arrow. You don't like the bow and arrow?
I do like the bow and arrow. I do like that. It makes me want to play him, honestly. I want to play some Brandon Cooks for old time's sake. But I do. Parker Washington's a guy I definitely love, and Jacoby for that. I think Jacoby's more of a condom play, but I do think he's a good play at 5,500. I would much rather stack up the Jacksonville side, even if you play Josh Allen. We've talked about that instead of Trevor Lawrence. How weird of a build is that? Josh Allen with Parker Washington and Jacoby instead of Trevor Lawrence, and then Cook with Allen, quarterback, running back with 2 receivers the other way. I think is a great build.
That's how you win a tournament too. You somehow get the nut Josh Allen like running game with.
All you need him to do is outscore Lawrence, though. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, even in a shootout, that's all you need.
I don't even think it's crazy. What if you just played like Josh Allen, James Cook, and then double stack the 2 receivers you like on Jacksonville? Like I don't think that's crazy.
I think it's a good build, and you can play Trevor Lawrence. The problem I have is he's only 900 cheaper than Allen.
Yeah, but for good reason. Trevor Lawrence is arguably
been good.
One of the best fantasy quarterbacks in fantasy right now. I mean, outside of Josh Allen, right? Who's been like way better? Drake May, obviously, he's been really good. But like, look at this: 47, 31, 24, 23. I mean, that's pretty damn good right there. I will say though, I know you said you're done with like the picking the receivers from Buffalo. I agree with you from the receiver standpoint, but
you're not talking me into those tight ends. You're not.
Dalton Kincaid is not even on the injury report, Tony.
Until he gets hit one time, and then he's Anthony Davis. He's
don't you ruin this right now? Don't you ruin this right now? You just gave him.
It's not ruining anything. That guy's Anthony Davis on the football field.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville
is being targeted the second most at the tight end position defensively. 146 targets.
He's got a poon between his legs.
They're targeting the tight end against Jacksonville. It makes sense. The middle of the field. They're tough to run. This sets up for a Kincaid or a Knox touchdown. So my other anytime touchdown bet is one of these tight ends. They might both score, honestly.
Do Knox if you do it.
Yeah, they might both score. I might do both.
Oh my God, Dalton Kincaid can lick on me.
He's so bad.
He gets hurt I've played that guy so many times.
You know what though? You know what? When he does good though, I've noticed this. They get him the ball early in the game. So if he's not getting the ball like in the first quarter. Actually, I might bet like his first quarter props, Tony, because I've noticed this. When they get him involved, it's like really early in the game. If he doesn't get involved really early, he's like dead. Like
I agree with that.
He's not in the game plan. So maybe that's it. Maybe I got to find like a first quarter reception bet or something.
I want to bet on him getting concussed. Where's those odds at?
You're just killing the little mojo I got.
I want to bet on him to get a concussion.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, Mama
All right.
Rock loves it. Poontang. Kincaid equals Poontang
Who
pie.
doesn't love Poontang? The hell?
True. That's true.
Exactly.
Fair point.
Thank you. All right, let's move off this game. Let's go to I will say this. I don't think it's going to be like an amazing fantasy game, but I'm very intrigued to watch this game. San Francisco and Philly. This game's in Philadelphia, and the spread is just moving, Tony, and it's moving towards the Eagles. It's that 5.5 number right now on DraftKings, the number that we always talk about. Actually, it's up to 6 now on DraftKings, so it just keeps moving. I think it opened at 3. And it just keeps moving, Tony. So it's a 44.5 total. San Francisco's got some injuries they're still dealing with. Trent Williams, Ricky Pearsall, I think are truly questionable. But at the end of the day, I think they push to try and play unless they just physically can't. But who knows how healthy they are. I assume you're just all Eagles here with this line the way it's going.
I mean, it's yet another game. These playoff games, I'm excited for this weekend. I don't have a ton of like huge bets because of how conflicted I am. 5.5 would normally lead me to San Francisco. I normally like San Francisco more than Philly. I'm not a big Philly guy. I love San Francisco. But when I just sit down and look at the matchup, the Philly's defense is playing so good. I just don't see how San Francisco is going to score. This is one of my favorite under games, too, for the record. Like, I think San Francisco is definitely going to struggle to score, and Philly, I think, will struggle to score on San Francisco. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So, man, it's hard for me to pick Philly against San Fran, but I think they just have too much on defense. I think they just – similar to what happened to San Francisco last week, going to Seattle, or not going to Seattle, they were at home, but playing Seattle just overwhelmed them physically. I think Philadelphia does a lot of the same. You just never know with San Francisco, though. You get that tricky number. What happens when all of a sudden – the last time they played in the playoffs, too, I think was that game where McCaffrey had to play quarterback some. They had no quarterback. It was just an embarrassment. I guess I got to go Philly, but I don't like points in this game. And one of the reasons I love leaning into the Buffalo game so much is I hate the next 2 games so much on that Saturday only slate that I like. For Philly, I mean, Saquon's going to get a ton of ownership. I don't love him, but I think you have to consider him. But I don't like the receivers all that much. Devontae, I guess with a 1K discount, people are going to like AJ Brown, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him in this spot. And like you said, I like the Jacksonville receivers. I like some receivers in the next game. This isn't a game I really want to go to for a receiver. So, and I think that'll be a contrarian take because a lot of people are going to be on AJ or Devontae, one of the two. So, yeah, it's an interesting game though, all the way around. And what's Kittle's health like? How healthy do we think he is important too?
I don't think it's Kittle that we got to worry about. Kittle's going to be healthy. I think it's Pearsall and Trent Williams. I think those are the 2 guys, especially Trent. And I just want to shout this out because Kyle Posey is his name on Twitter. He says, how important is Trent Williams to the 49ers? They have the 3rd highest outside zone rate in the NFL. Last week was the first time all season, this is without Trent Williams on the field last week, the offense didn't have a rush at or outside of the tackles since week 8 was the last time they had a single-digit outside zone attempt. And what's important about this, Tony, is the Eagles give up 5 yards of carry on outside zone runs. That's where you beat the Eagles. And that makes sense because you're running away from Jalen Carter. You're running away from the teeth of the defense, the strength of the defense. That totally checks out to me. But when you kind of put all that stuff together and you're like, okay, this Trent Williams thing means a ton more. If he's not fully healthy.
I think he's good. I think he's good to go.
You think he's good to go? Well, yeah. That's huge because if they can be effective, they're one of the best teams at this outside zone run. And that's how you beat the Eagles or keep the game close. And I like your take. I love the under in this game. Yeah. This is
Both
underwritten
teams want to
all
run the
over.
ball too. Like they're dying to run the ball.
They're dying to run the football. I like the under. I like Saquon a ton, though. One thing I did notice was the Seahawks, and the Seahawks don't have like a, I wouldn't put their offensive line as like a dominating run offensive line. Like I don't think they have like a, I think they have a solid offensive line. I don't think it's like dominating, and I don't think their run game is like super special or anything like that. And they just dominated the 49ers. Like it felt like they were pushing those dudes like 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage constantly in that game. And I think you've seen it the last like back half of the year. The 49ers run D has just been getting gashed. Now this Eagles get back Lane Johnson. I think that's huge for the Eagles offensive line getting back Lane Johnson. I think we have a big Saquon game on our hands, Tony. I think this might be a alt line Saquon for a buck 30, buck 50 type of a game. We see vintage Saquon come back and rush for a big one. And I don't mind Dallas Goedert as a tight end. I think those are my two favorite plays from the Eagles side. And the only play I can sell myself on is CMC, because he's the only way the 49ers stay in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it'll be hard for me not to play CMC for sure, especially with Trent Williams back, Kittle. When those two are in, they can run the ball. So
are you taking the? I mean, I think Pearsall's huge too, because he's like an actual route separator. Like Juwan Jennings is more like they're like completely different. And I think they need someone like Ricky Pearsall to be somewhat good, because Purdy's going to be under pressure. So he's going to have to get that ball out. And the Eagles are one of the best teams against tight ends. They've been one of the best teams against tight ends the last 2 years. So if they're taking away Kittle, who's Purdy's favorite target, one of Pearsall or Jennings would have to be the guy. So hopefully Pearsall's back. You're saying Trent Williams will be good. That's huge. So
yeah,
are you taking the 6?
I'm very confident that Trent Williams is good to go. Man, I mean, you know how I am with my betting stuff over the years. Like the 5.5 number scares me, but once it pushes above and gets to 6, it's 6.5 at Hard Rock. It's going up, like you said. When it gets all like when it just sticks at 5.5 everywhere, it makes me want to. And I know this might not make sense to anyone, and who I don't care. It's my betting philosophy. Same thing with key numbers. Like when it moves off key numbers, when it sticks at 5.5, it makes me want to take the Niners, because it's like it's throwing it out there to you. But when it goes up higher, 6.5, it gets me back on the Eagles. I just think it's a tough matchup for the Niners. I feel like if the Niners do win, it's going to be an over. And I just don't agree with that game flow. Like I feel like it's low scoring, and I feel like that benefit. I just see it going like the Seattle game last week. I really do. I feel like it's 17-6 Seattle or something. Or I said Seattle, but Philly. 17-6 Philly or something. I just don't
Philly's
see point.
not one of those teams that's like just blowing the doors off teams either.
No, their offense has been bad.
They're gonna, yeah. I mean, it's just like one of those things. So I don't hate that take at all. And I agree with you 100%. Like if you think the 49ers win, how does this game not go over? Like there's just no way.
Go over.
It has.
And one way they win for sure is to jump on them early. I think you brought up a live betting spot with Buffalo. I think you can do the same thing with San Fran, because the first couple drives, if they're moving the ball, I think they win. If they just get totally clamped, I think you bet Philly. And maybe you get lucky too, where there's not much scoring early on and it's kind of a rock fight. But if San Fran can't move the ball, I promise you, in my new betting thing on Run Pure, Big T Giblets, you're going to see Philly money line or Philly live bet go flying in there. But I like to watch it. I might do a lot of live bets this weekend, because some of these games are too close to call. Will I bet them? Sure. I like putting sides in there and betting. But my live bets might be the bigger bets. Just see how the game flows going, get a read on it. I think that's what I'm good at too, kind of getting a feel for it. So, I hope Philly though.
I hope Jacksonville. That's like the dream, is like Jacksonville jumps on Buffalo early, and then you get like a real nice live betting spot.
Wasn't this the spot too? Where was it Buffalo? Who Jacksonville have the huge comeback against?
Wasn't that the Chargers or the Texans?
Could have been Chargers. That makes sense.
Wasn't the Justin Herbert letdown game of the
It could be.
century?
The Chargers do make sense because they would blow that game. So that makes sense in my head.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong.
No, it sounds right to me.
Who is cursed more than the Niners with injuries?
I don't think
literally nobody.
They all every year too. They always just get crushed with injuries.
Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. It is what it is. And this year, Tony, they went from having a chance to get the bye to facing the Eagles in Philly. Like run worse 49ers. I mean,
brutal, like
and
brutal.
And Trent Williams before, like the game before, gets hurt for that game, and it's just like Ricky P couldn't play, and we thought going into that game, Tony, we thought Ricky P was going to play, right? That was kind of a little surprise. It
was late. I had him in my teams and had to like move around at literally the last second myself because I just assumed he was going to play.
Yeah, I had people like DMing me like, "Who are we playing? Ricky's out," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I had to go back and like change.
I don't even know if I ever even changed it on the site. It was so late because I was scrambling.
Oh man, that was the worst. But it was late, and it was because they didn't tell us he re-injured like an injury and stuff like that. So, yeah, that it just all fell horrible for the 49ers, just all in a row, just bad stuff. But what are you gonna do? Got to play the hand you're given here, and it's a tough one for the 49ers. All right, let's go to last two games of the night here, Tony. And we got the Chargers in New England. This is the late game on Sunday, and this game's a 3.5-point spread on DraftKings right now. I think the total's sitting like 45.5? Yeah, 45.5. We got a lot of like 44.5, 45.5 totals this week, Tony, but 3.5 points. I saw a ton of people just moneyline Patriots. Moneyline Patriots. Love the Patriots this week to win. What do you think here of the Patriots? Drake May in his postseason debut.
One thing I always hate is those bets. I feel like casual people, that's their favorite when the spread's 3.5 because they don't want to lay the slightly more than a field goal. But you're laying 190 or 200 in juice. Like, that is not worth 3.5 points. If you like New England, just lay the points. I mean, I don't get it. It's one of the worst things I think people do. Tease from 6-0 where you are losing 2.5 points there is horrible. And people do it all the time because they obviously it's a 6-point favorite to not giving any points. So they like feel good in their head. What they're not realizing, you're just wasting points, though. You can't waste points. Same thing with 3.5. You can't lay 200, 190 or 200 when you only have to lay 3.5. Because if you like New England, you got to think they're winning by more than 3.5, right? Like, if you think it's going to be 3, why are you betting it to begin with? Like, I don't understand. It's just a rant I have because people always do that. Like my casual
I'm
friends.
glad you gave the rant because I was going to do it if you didn't.
In my it's always, and it's your brother. I'm not making fun of you, brothers, but it's people like that. It's the casual people that are always going to do it. And they're always going to bet the like stud for the touchdown too, like McCaffrey first touchdown. It's always, it drives me nuts. Like, I'm not saying you can't ever do that. Obviously, there's times you can do stuff.
I'm saying just don't do it ever. Just don't do it.
I mean, laying 200 in juice instead of 3.5 is just freaking crazy. But back to the game.
Point though, like if you like the Patriots, just bet the 3.5.
Just lay the points, and it's 3.5 for a reason. Like they want. If it's 3, that's even different. And again, this is just years of betting, 30 plus years of betting. But if it's 3, I'm more willing to bet the money line. I know that sounds stupid to everybody that hasn't been around, but if it's 3, I'm okay laying like 160 juice. I know it's only 30 cents difference, but that hook is a big hook, the 3 to 3.5. It's basically scaring you into doing the money line, laying more juice. I just don't. Again, and sharp people are probably like, he's an idiot too for these takes. That's fine. That's just the way I think about the betting side. As far as this game, though, man, I am not excited fantasy-wise. Chargers, they just have kind of been a disaster since early in the season. They're still super well coached. I think both teams are super well coached here. very, very well coached teams. I just don't love the Chargers up front are a disaster up front. I think Vrabel will scheme up enough stuff to slow them down. I just don't love what I see. Herbert's super injured. The line's injured. I just have a hard time picking the Chargers in this spot. And New England hasn't been here before with this group. I mean, you got a young quarterback. They've been good all year. But you got even Vrabel hasn't been with New England in this spot, even though he was good for Tennessee in a bunch of these spots. I just don't love this game. And looking up and down, you got 2 running backs again for New England. I don't really want to go there. Drake May, I struggle to play Drake May on any of the slates. The 3-gamer, I love the Buffalo game like you. The 6-gamer, I like the Chicago game. I like the Buffalo game. I like Stafford. It's going to be hard for me to get to this game on any slate this weekend. As far as the Chargers' weapons, I just don't. I don't see much of anything. So maybe you can talk me into something in this game. I don't see a ton.
Yeah. What I see is, one, if I'm betting this game, I'm taking the 3.5 hook with the Chargers, because one thing I know is be afraid of first-time postseason quarterbacks. They just don't have a great record. First game postseason, that would be Drake May, right? Be a little timid with that stuff. Also, the Patriots have played probably the easiest schedule we will ever see. It's just ridiculous. The Giants have more like like top over 500 wins or whatever it is than the Patriots, which is saying something here. So what funniest thing ever, Tony, the reason the Patriots don't have the 1 seed in the bye is because I think week 1 they lost to the Raiders of all teams.
That was the tiebreaker difference.
Yes, because the Broncos beat the Raiders and they lost to that's the whole reason they don't have the bye. Isn't that the craziest shit ever? The worst team, the Raiders. The Raiders legitimately are the worst team in football, I think.
I would say they were the worst team in football, yes. Obviously, the Chiefs at the end without any of their guys might have been worse, but the Raiders overall were the worst.
But the Chargers, I will say, the one thing is they have a really good red zone defense. So this is going to be good against good. I think this is where the game comes down to is New England's good red zone offense against the Chargers' good red zone defense. Which wins out at the end of the day? Can the Chargers hold the Patriots' good red zone offense to field goals, not touchdowns? If they can, they're going to have a chance in this game. If they can't, they're going to get the doors blown off of them in this game. That's going to be the key here. But I also think that it's probably the best draw that the Chargers could have gotten, because think about this, Tony. All these other teams in the AFC, they all have way better pass rushes. They like the New England, the one weakness New England has, they have a really good run defense. Best run defense in the league. Milton Williams, best run stopper. That was like one of the best pickups overall in the offseason was Milton Williams. He's back for the Patriots. Their, defensive stats, stopping the run when he's on the field to when he's off is just night and day. But they don't get to the pass rusher as much. And you brought up the Chargers' weakness is their offensive line. So if you're the Chargers, Tony, I know the Patriots are a better team than a lot of these teams, but from a matchup standpoint, honestly, Herbert's probably looking at it like, well, do I want to play Texans? No. Do I want to play the Steelers with their pass rush? No. Do I want to seriously go down even the Bills? The Bills have a pretty good pass rush, just a pass rush. You know what I mean? You start going down the list, Denver, all these other teams in the AFC. It's like, what's the one team that doesn't have that elite of a pass rush that's in the AFC? It's the Patriots. So it from a matchup standpoint, this is probably the nicest matchup the Chargers could get, Herbert could get. But it's all going to come down to Herbert because they can't run the football. They're fourth worst in success rate running the football. They're second worst in stuff rate, and that's only to the Texans. They literally they have no success running the football. Them and the Texans are just horrible at running the football right now.
The Chargers have the worst O-line in football.
I mean, the Texans are up there too. The
I'm
Texans.
just saying, like literally by the advanced numbers, though, the Chargers are 32nd.
I'm just talking the run game though, like just the
in the
run
run game. Again, the
the
numbers
run
I'm looking
game.
at are pass rates too. Like
Yeah,
pass
I'm talking the run.
blocking, they are 32nd, worse than all the bad teams even. But I agree with you. Like the Patriots D line's middle of the pack, which isn't good in almost all of those stats. That's not a ton of pressures. But the Chargers, if they can get pressure against anyone, it's first this O-line where it's just so bad. Like I've watched them all year because I like the Chargers. I like Harbaugh. Harbaugh might be my favorite coach. I love Harbaugh. And man, their line is so bad.
So bad.
And Herbert's hurt. This is my favorite game of the weekend. Everyone I love the Pats. I can't see the Pats losing to this O-line. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I love the Chargers. It's such a weird, conflicting week for me because I don't like New England. I like the Chargers.
Dude, all the teams that you like, you're betting against. It's crazy.
It's either going to be really good or really tormenting for me because shit, even the next game as we get to it, I've liked Houston all year, and I'm struggling to like Houston in this spot. I just am.
Hold on, my favorite play maybe of the week is in this game, so I don't want to forget about it.
Houston or the
no, the Patriots game.
Favorite play of the week in this game? Who could it be? Yeah, I wanted to be sold on someone here.
Stephon Diggs is going.
Now you're speaking my language.
Stephon Diggs.
He's the one guy I wanted you to say.
I'm telling you right now, Stephon Diggs in meaningful football games, good or. The Patriots didn't play a ton of like top tier teams, but when they did, Stephon Diggs comes out and shines. Buffalo, 10 of 12 for 146. Carolina, who did make the playoffs, 6 for 7 for 101. Where's the other game here? Baltimore, who, I mean, they almost made the playoffs, Tony, and for the Pats schedule, we'll count it. 9 for 10 for 138. And remember, this is a lot of these stats are he got a little roll bump in some of these type of games because they needed him a little more. But in general, he's played a lot of the season with like a limited routes run role compared to most seasons where like he would play like 60, he'd run like 60% of the routes. This is the playoffs, baby. We're getting full on Stephon Diggs, loaded up. Remember, no Mac Hollins, Tony, so they're down a receiver that they've been using, right? No Mac Hollins. Kayshon Boutte is a little banged up. He's questionable. I think he's going to play, though. He said he feels better. This is a Stephon Diggs game, though, man. All line that bitch up. We're getting a massive game out of Stephon Diggs. So I had to remember to say that. And don't forget, too, the way the Chargers play, I think it fits Stephon Diggs perfect. They like to keep everything in front of them. Stephon Diggs, he likes to rack up catches. I think this is a, 8 for 12, on, 100 plus yards receiving, something like that type of game for Stephon Diggs.
Love it.
All right. Let's get to the final game here, and then we'll give our full bracket and get out of here. I can't imagine we're going to like much in this next game, Tony, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll surprise me here. It's a whopping 38.5 total, and I still think like 70% of the money's coming in on the under. So people are not buying offense in this game. They are buying defense under. What do you see here? Is it just defense? Is it under? What are you doing?
Yeah, the easy part for us is obviously Monday will be showdown, so it's only the 6 game slate. I do have one guy I really like though, and DK Metcalf coming off the suspension where he almost screwed his team. Did screw his team. They just got lucky to advance without it. He's only 5,400. And I think he goes crazy in this spot. I think he really realizes that he was an idiot. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, I have no facts to back this up. I'm just doing it on a normal person's basis that did this. I would feel horrible like I screwed my team over, and I would want to make it up right when I get back. And I just love the fact that Rodgers is built the same way too, where he's going to try to force feed DK Metcalf at 5,400. And you're going to get such low ownerships on anyone in this game because it's the only Monday game. It's the lowest total by a mile of the weekend. It's two defensive heavy teams. No one's going to play anyone in this game, really, besides the defenses. And I just think DK Metcalf's too cheap coming off that suspension. So I like him and Nico, I think, are very similar plays. And Nico's 2,000 more than him. Like, I really feel good about DK Metcalf, but nothing else in this game. I wish I liked Houston more than I do, too. I just kind of feel like Pittsburgh's so freaking lucky. And I don't think it's a great matchup for Houston. I like Houston against different teams. Like you said, I would love Houston versus the Chargers. Like, they would destroy the Chargers. Pittsburgh, though, with Rodgers, he gets the ball, he gets rid of it quick. He is a veteran, so I don't think the pressures will confuse him that much. I feel like it's all my teams that I would pick this week, I feel like are in bad matchups. I don't love any of my teams. Like, seriously, I like Houston more than Pittsburgh. I'm picking Pittsburgh. I like the Chargers more than New England. I'm picking New England. I like San Fran more. I'm picking Philly. I like Jacksonville more. I'm picking Buffalo. I like Chicago more. I'm picking Green Bay. The Rams is what it is. It's a 10.5-point spread. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I do think it's hilarious. And I do think that the Houston Texans, it's funny, like their draw, in my opinion, for that team is brutal because I don't see how this game isn't somewhat close. Even though I think we all agree the Steelers, hit or miss, are another team that should they have made the playoffs where, they were solid. DK definitely screwed them here at the end of the season, and they have a really good defense, and Rodgers is good enough to clearly still play quarterback. He's super smart. He knows where to go with the football. He knows how to get the ball out quick. So he can still play in this league and play at a pretty high level and stuff. But the one thing about Rodgers is, man, he gets the ball out really, really quick, and he's going to have to against this Texan defense because he does not like getting touched. I feel like I say this every single time, but man, he's going to hate getting hit. If he gets hit, falls on that hand once or twice, he's going to be really pissed, start yelling at his linemen and everything. And I could see it happening, but I do think it's a brutal draw. I think this game stays within a field goal. One interesting note, though, the Steelers, and I didn't even realize this, but the Steelers for the season, they've been giving up a lot of fantasy points to receivers. And I feel like on the surface, like their defense has been pretty good, but I can see the receiver point here. And the one thing CJ Stroud has always liked to do, he loves to air the football out. He loves to throw it deep, Tony. That's like his thing. He's not like a check down guy. He's not an Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers likes to get the ball out quick drop, step, and throw, read the defense and let it go. That's not CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud likes to hold it a little longer. He likes to get the ball down the field. That's why like Woody Marks doesn't really fit as a running back because Woody's more of like a third down pass catcher. And they're asking him to do like CJ doesn't like use him as a dump off guy. So it's interesting here, but I do think like a Nico Collins or Jaden Higgins, like one off, isn't terrible here. I'm not going to play CJ, but like I do think
definitely don't play CJ.
But I do think a pass catcher. The Steelers have been bad against tight end, like Dalton Schultz, even if you want to just go with the tight end. But I do think one receiving option for this team. And I also, on the other side, I think you can play Kenny Gainwell just because I know for a fact Aaron Rodgers is going to want him on that field a lot because he's going to be checking the ball down a great deal. So I just wanted to throw those two plays out there a little bit. But I think if the Texans win, they've got a pretty good path to good matchups the rest of the way, Tony, which is the interesting part of the Texans. I think this is like one of their tougher spots, though, to be honest with you. All right, there's all 6 games here. Tony, let's do the quick full bracket breakdown, and then we'll be back on Sunday, normal time, 10 a.m. for our regular Wood show. So we'll mainly obviously talk about the 3-gamer on Sunday. And then we'll do a showdown show on Monday, specifically talking about the Monday Night Football game from a showdown aspect and stuff like that. If you guys want our 2-game content, our 6-game content for this week, you can check us out at runpuresports.com. Big T will have his full player pool out. I'll have my 3-max strategy up for the slates here, so you guys can get all of those.
All kinds of slates too, like many
tons of slates,
all kinds of showdowns too, all kinds of stuff.
Yep, and we'll
we got college tonight too. Well, people might watch this tomorrow, but if you're watching it today on Friday, college tonight too again.
Yeah, college tonight. When's the final game, Tony?
Always Monday, so next Monday, not this Monday, next Monday.
Oh, I was gonna say, no way it's
not that good. 10 days from now or 9 days, whatever, 11 days, whatever it comes down to.
All right, there you go. So we still have college and stuff like that going on. Smash the like button on the video, guys. If you enjoy this video here, nice almost hour and a half, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified every time we go live for these shows that we do all throughout the week. All right, Tony, let's go through the bracket here real quick. Just run through the games here. Let's start with the AFC side. I'm gonna move our heads real quick here. Boom, real quick here. All right, Tony, let's start on the AFC side. We got the Patriots and the Chargers. Who's moving on for you?
Patriots for sure.
Patriots.
So that's the 2 seed.
Yep. All right, now we got Buffalo and Jacksonville.
Oh. What is it? 3 versus 6?
Yeah. Gotta pick one.
Man, it's hard because my bets are different than I want to pick for the bracket. But
no, just pick your heart, Tony. Pick your heart. Go with your heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jacksonville. It's gonna be different. People are gonna say I'm contradicting myself, which I hate. But my bets are to just that game. My overall, I still gotta lean certain ways. So
all right, Texans.
Jags are the 3 seed.
Steelers. Yep. Texans and Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the upset here though. I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh over Houston. And
okay,
I didn't think I would do that.
All right, so you got Pittsburgh against Denver, and
this is where like the bracket I do struggle with this stuff because now I got to pick Denver. I can't pick Pittsburgh over Denver. So Denver.
And you got the Patriots and the
Jags, and then Jags.
Okay.
This is where the bracket part is hard, though, because I'm going to bet against the Jags this week.
Hey, will you stop contradicting yourself and just?
I know. I can't help it. If the Jags win, though, when the Jags win, I want them to win.
Yeah,
I want them to win the AFC.
Because honestly, if the Jags win, I think they might be the best team left in the
Whoever
AFC.
wins that game, I'm picking to win the AFC for sure.
All right,
so I'll say that. I'm picking Jags, but if Buffalo wins, I'm picking Buffalo to win.
So you got the Jags beating Denver and going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
And I'm gonna go Chargers, Bills, Texans. So I'm gonna have Chargers losing to Denver, and I'm gonna have the Texans and Bills, and I'm gonna have the. I want to say the upset right now because I do think it's a tough spot for Josh Allen in the Bills with that defense here. I think that defense gives them a lot of issues, but and that defense is at home too. God, I can't go against Josh Allen though. I'm going to go Josh Allen in that spot here. So Josh Allen against Denver, and I'm going to go with the Bills to beat the Broncos and go to the Super Bowl here. All right, Tony, NFC here.
I'm betting on Jacksonville too. I can't contradict myself. I'm going back to Jags. Duval, baby. Let's break that 0 for 23.
All right. I'm glad you're not contradicting yourself any more than you already have. Packers and Bears, Tony. Who you got?
I'm going to go Packers. I'm going to go Packers.
Go Pack, go. San Francisco and the Eagles.
Eagles and Rams. So then I got
Seattle
versus Packers.
And Seattle. Yep.
Definitely Seattle, obviously. And then Rams over Eagles. So we get our third matchup, Seattle versus Rams. Obviously, I'm picking Seattle. And then I'm picking Seattle to beat Jacksonville in the championship.
Okay. Seattle against Duval.
Duval.
It does sound good when you say it like that.
Did you
like
see them give him his grill? I'm sure you saw it when Sunshine got his grill.
Yes, I saw that.
That was awesome.
All
What do
right.
you think that cost?
God, I have no idea. Way too much money.
A lot.
Ridiculous amount of money. All right. I'm going to go Bears. I'm going to go Eagles, and I'm going to go Rams. So that means that I would have Rams Seattle playing in round 2, in which I'm going Rams, and I would have Bears Eagles in round 2. I'm going Eagles. So then I would have the Eagles, Rams, who I think are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now. And I'm going to go Rams, Bills. That's going to be an electric Super Bowl if we get Rams Bills. I cannot wait. That thing is going to soar over a total. Whatever the total is, it's not going to be high enough. And the Rams get it done. Bam. There's the Super Bowl right there. Full breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed that playoff edition of the Prim Factory. If you did, get on over to runpuresports.com. Sign up. Any package on the site gets you into the Discord. In the Discord, we have all the channels you'll need for every sport, college sports, NFL, NBA, whatever package you choose. If you do the all-in, you'll get all the sports. Plus, we have the full betting package in there. You can get JBC's bets, premium bets, full slate bets for college, for all these different sports. We've got prop bets. We've got the parlay pit where guys are putting out 100,000 to 1 parlays all the time. That's Prez throwing that stuff out there. And then we have newly added channel, Big T's Giblets in there. And the man has just been on fire. I think he said like 31-14 in his first like 40 whatever bets.
Yeah, basically this year, 31-14 plus 17 units, 1 unit at a pop.
That's it. Right there, Big T's Giblets. Sign up. It's worth the price of admission right there. Get in. Go bet some Big T Giblets. Win. What did you have? A plus 325 live winner last night thrown in there?
Arkansas, Little Rock, baby.
Little Rock. So
Little Rock, big schlong.
Little Rock, big schlong. If you enjoy winners, check that channel out, Big T's Giblets. Check out all the stuff we got going on at Run Pure Sports. That's going to do it. Tony, appreciate you doing the show as always. We'll be back Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time for our regularly scheduled Morning Wood with me, Big T, and the Prez. Until then, good luck in your DraftKings DFS and betting for the first week of the NFL playoffs. For myself, for Big T, we'll catch you guys on Sunday. We're out of here. Peace.